Jason Padet was a furniture salesman who was brutally mugged outside a karaoke bar in Tacoma, Washington on September 13, 2002. He was kicked repeatedly in the head and ended up suffering a severe concussion and brain trauma. After the assault, Padet developed acquired savant syndrome, specifically in the area of mathematics and geometry. He began to see the world through the lens of complex mathematical formulas and geometric shapes. He perceives everyday phenomena, like the flow of water or the ripples in a pond, as fractals and mathematical equations. He can draw intricate fractals by hand, which neuroscientists have identified as extremely accurate visual representations of complex mathematical concepts. Prior to the incident, Padet had no particular interest or aptitude in mathematics. He described himself as a superficial person, primarily focused on material possessions and not intellectually inclined. He was also a college dropout. His condition is thought to be a result of damage to his brain that disinhibited certain areas, allowing access to mathematical concepts that are typically unconscious. He has been studied extensively by neuroscientists, including Dr. Daryl Treffert, a leading expert on savant syndrome. He has published a book about his experience titled Struck by Genius. On January 17, 1979, at the age of 10, Orlando Serill was playing baseball when he was struck by a baseball bat on the left side of his head. He did not lose consciousness and continued playing. After the incident, Serill gradually developed the ability to perform complex calendar calculations instantly. He can tell you the day of the week for any date, past or future, and recall weather conditions and personal events for those dates, all with remarkable accuracy. This form of acquired savant syndrome is called hypercalculia. He claims the ability was not immediately apparent but developed over time. He can also recall in detail personal events for each day since the accident, demonstrating a strong autobiographical memory linked to his calendar abilities. On a stormy day in 1994, Tony Shikora, an orthopedic surgeon, was using a payphone when he was struck by lightning. He briefly died but was resuscitated. In the weeks and months following the lightning strike, Shikora developed an intense and sudden passion for classical piano music, specifically new compositions. Despite having no previous interest in or talent for playing the piano, he felt an overwhelming urge to learn and practice. He spent countless hours at the piano and began to compose complex piano pieces, even having detailed musical ideas come to him in dreams. Shikora's case is often cited as an example of acquired savant syndrome, where a brain injury, in this case from lightning, somehow rewired his brain, unlocking musical genius. His story was featured in Oliver Sacks's book, Musicophilia, Tales of Music and the Brain. In 2006, Derek Amato, a business consultant and swim instructor, suffered a severe concussion after diving into the shallow end of a swimming pool and hitting his head. Following the concussion, Amato developed astonishing musical abilities. Despite having no prior musical training or interest, he began to see black and white squares moving across his mind, which he interpreted as musical notations. He could then sit down at a piano and play complex pieces, often for hours on end, without ever having learned to read music. He developed the ability to play multiple instruments and compose original music. Amato describes his experience as if his brain is downloading musical information directly. He has been featured in numerous documentaries and interviews, showcasing his incredible, spontaneously acquired musical talent. At the age of 3, Alonzo Clemens suffered a severe head injury from a fall. As a result of his brain injury, Clemens acquired developmental disabilities and significant cognitive challenges. However, he also emerged as a prodigious sculpting savant. Clemens can create highly detailed and anatomically perfect sculptures of animals from memory, often after just a brief glance at a picture or the animal itself. His sculptures are renowned for their lifelike quality and precision. His case highlights the remarkable way the brain can compensate for deficits by developing extraordinary talents in specific areas. His work has been exhibited in galleries. Stephen Wiltshire was diagnosed with autism at the age of 3. Because of his unique neurological profile associated with autism, he slowly began to develop savant abilities. Wiltshire possesses an extraordinary photographic memory, specifically in the realm of architectural landscapes. He can draw highly detailed and accurate panoramic views of cities, often after seeing them only once during a brief helicopter ride. He reproduces every building, window, and architectural detail with astonishing precision. Wiltshire is known as the human camera. He has drawn entire cityscapes of New York, London, Rome, Hong Kong, and many others purely from memory. His work is globally recognized, and he has been awarded an MBE for his services to art. He often draws directly onto a large canvas with minimal or no preliminary sketching. Daniel Tamut has a unique form of high-functioning autism, sometimes referred to as Asperger's syndrome, with savant characteristics. He describes his experience as synesthesia, where he perceives numbers, words, and even days of the week as having shapes, colors, and textures. Tamut possesses extraordinary mathematical and linguistic abilities. He can perform complex mental calculations at incredible speeds, learn new languages in a matter of days. He learned Icelandic in a week, and recite pi to tens of thousands of decimal places. His synesthesia allows him to see the results of calculations as landscapes of numbers. Tamut describes a challenging childhood due to his autism, with difficulties in social interaction and sensory processing. However, his unique cognitive abilities were also evident early on. Tamut is not only a savant, but also a gifted communicator who has provided invaluable insights into the savant mind. He holds the European record for reciting pi to 22,514 decimal places in just over 5 hours. He has written several books, including Born on a Blue Day, describing his life with synesthesia and autism. Kim Peek was born in 1951 with severe developmental disabilities, including agenesis of the corpus callosum, the part of the brain connecting the two hemispheres, and other brain abnormalities. His savant abilities were congenital, meaning it was present from birth. Despite significant motor and social challenges, Peek possessed an encyclopedic memory across at least 15 different subjects, including history, geography, sports, music, and literature. He could recall vast amounts of information from books he had read, often reading 2 pages simultaneously, one with each eye. He was particularly adept at historical dates and geographical facts. Kim Peek was the primary inspiration for the character Raymond Babbitt in the Academy Award-winning film Rain Man, starring Dustin Hoffman. The film brought savant syndrome into public awareness. Unlike the fictional character, Peek was outgoing and enjoyed interacting with people and sharing his knowledge. He traveled extensively, giving presentations about his abilities, often with his father, who was his dedicated caregiver. He passed away in 2009. Ben Underwood lost both of his eyes to retinoblastoma, a rare form of eye cancer, at the age of 3. After losing his sight, Underwood taught himself to navigate the world using echolocation, similar to bats and dolphins. He would make clicking noises with his tongue and interpret the echoes that bounced back from objects in his environment. This allowed him to see his surroundings, ride bikes, play basketball, and even video games. His brain adapted by repurposing the visual cortex to process auditory information. Ben Underwood was not only highly functional, but also remarkably independent and active. His ability to echolocate was extensively studied by scientists. Sadly, he passed away in 2009 at the age of 16 from the same cancer that took his sight. Bob Petrella developed an innate condition called hyperthymesia, also known as highly superior autobiographical memory, or HSAM. The condition allows him to recall virtually every day of his life in immense detail, including dates, specific events, conversations, and even what he ate or wore on a particular day. Unlike typical memories which fade over time, his memories remain vivid and accessible as if they just happened. Petrella is one of fewer than 100 people worldwide confirmed to have hyperthymesia. While it allows for incredible recall, it can also be overwhelming, as he experiences both positive and negative memories with the same intensity. He has been studied by neuroscientists at the University of California, Irvine, who have identified specific brain structures and pathways that appear to be different in individuals with HSAM. He is also a successful television writer and producer. So what do you think? Which of these real-life superhumans amazed you the most? Let us know in the comments down below. And while you're at it, don't miss out on more strange and fascinating stories, right here on Unfolded.